Russell, Jack Russell. These dogs are known for their agility, their big personality, and their fearless nature, not to mention their cute and handsome little pups. But how did this breed come about? Did you know these amazing little pooches were war heroes? That Hitler's first known dog was a Jack Russell? And that Jack Russells are the most used and profitable breeds in Hollywood? I'm Auntie Nessa, and this month's Let's Talk breed is the Jack Russell Terrier. You're going to learn about this brave and resilient pup. But before we begin, don't forget to hit the subscribe button there on your right-hand corner. Don't forget to hit the little bell. That way, you'll stay up to date on everything on my channel. This terrier got his name from Reverend John Russell. He was a priest who lived in England during the early 1800s, and he was known as the sporting parson, parson meaning vicar or clergyman. He was passionate about fox hunting and wanted the perfect dog to hunt with. Russell bought a white terrier who had dark tan spots over her eyes, ears, and tail. Trump was her name, and though it is thought that Trump was the foundation of all Jack Russell Terriers, there is some debate. Although Trump was his ideal terrier, Trump may not be of the first of all Jack Russells. Russell sold Trump, then bought and sold other terriers, took some, kept the ones that worked, and got rid of the ones that did not. Russell had money problems and went into bankruptcy. Russell wanted a small dog with sturdy legs, strong enough to dig through foxholes. This dog had to be determined, be able to stalk the fox, and not fear a fight. However, this dog could not kill or severely wound the fox, as it was considered unsporting. Trump was selected because she had the perfect look. She was small, sturdy, and white. Russell wanted a white terrier because other dogs were brown and were often killed because they were mistaken for foxes. After Russell's death in 1883, the Jack Russell almost were no more, but two men owned the descendants of the Russell Terriers and kept the breed going. Arthur Heinemann preferred badger hunting over fox hunting. He bred the Jack Russell to have longer legs, and the Parson Jack Russell was born. Parson meaning clergy. The Parson Jack Russell was more of a show dog and was recognized in 1990 in the UK. In 1960, Australia brought the Jack Russell to assist in vermin issues, and the legs were bred down to 12 inches and was officially recognized by the Kennel Club in 2016. The UK is credited with starting the Jack Russell, but Australia is credited for keeping the breed true. So the main difference between the Jack Russell Terrier and the Parson Russell Terrier is their size. Jack Russells stand at 10 to 15 inches tall and are about 10 to 14 pounds. The Parsons Jack Russell Terrier stands at 12 to 14 inches tall and weighs about 12 to 14 pounds. The temperament is about the same, but the Jack Russell is more of a working dog and the Parson Russell Terrier is more of a show dog, as I said before. Another way to describe the different looks is the Jack Russell Terrier is more rectangular and the Parsons Terrier is more square. There is also the Russell Terrier, who's the smallest of the three, more of a toy size. Jack Russells have three types of coats: smooth, broken, and rough. Also, Jack Russells have the standard white with brown and black patches all over. None of them are the same on any two dogs. And also, they come in different types of brown: the red tan, the lemon tan, sable tan, and there are even all black Jack Russells. The Jack Russell is highly intelligent. They're clever dogs who are energetic pups who can jump up to 5 feet. These dogs are high energy and they are fearless and stubborn. Jack Russells have been known to stay in a fox den for days waiting to get their prey. They are tenacious working dogs, but they are fiercely loyal and affectionate to their parents. These traits were perfect for the needs in World War I. World War I was during the years of 1914 to 1918. No cell phones, no radios, no electronic ways to communicate. The Army got stray dogs and other animals to help in the war efforts, but citizens also donated their pets to the military. Dogs trained for 6 weeks at specific training facilities before they went off to war. Because of their determination and tenacity, Jack Russells served in various aspects of the war. Because communication was limited, handwritten orders were stored in metal tubes, and Jack Russells would run for miles through dark trenches and hazardous, treacherous terrain, taking them several days to deliver the messages that were held in their collars. Jack Russells were trained to find wounded soldiers on the battlefields. Imagine a little Jack Russell running through mud in the darkness, bullets whizzing by, cannons and bombs going off, and smoke everywhere. They looked for wounded men and moaning men, all while carrying a medipack on their back. Jack Russells also served for the YMCA as cigarette dogs. These pups would carry and distribute cigarettes to soldiers. Not so good now, but very important during World War I. Probably the most noted job Jack Russells had during World War I were ratters. The Western Front was plagued with rats. This vermin fed on everything, including dead bodies and wounded soldiers. The wounded soldiers were men who were alive but didn't have the strength to fight these vicious, hungry rats who fed on their dead and dying body parts. That has to be one of the most horrible nightmares a person can go through. Now, soldiers were not allowed to shoot the rats because they weren't allowed to waste ammunition. Cats didn't do very good with this because a cat would play with a rat and then eat them. There were millions of them out there and they had to get rid of them quickly. Jack Russells did much better. With their fearless and determined nature, these dogs grabbed a rat with their strong jaws, snapped its neck, and moved on to the next. These pictures are actually killed, often from one Jack Russell. They literally saved men and made things more bearable and cleaner. One of the most overlooked jobs that dogs had during various wars were that of the mascot. But it was much more than that. Soldiers were far away from home, far away from their families, all with carnage all around them. They grew lonely and depressed. Everyone knows that dogs bring down blood pressure and brightens your mood. Dogs, including Jack Russells, brought up the moods of these weary soldiers. In 1915, one Jack Russell ran through no man's land and jumped into a German trench and into the lap of a young messenger, Adolf Hitler. He took a liking to this Jack Russell as the dog was a messenger as well. Hitler adopted this Jack Russell, Fox, meaning little fox, who became his companion for several more years. After this first picture, Hitler demanded to take the second picture with Fox next to him. A railroad worker offered Hitler 200 marks, and by my guess, about $900 today, for his Jack Russell. Hitler refused and was quoted saying, "I look to Fox as a human being. I'm crazy about him." He was stolen later that day, thought to be stolen by the railroad worker who offered money for Jack Russell in the first place. Jack Russells are popular in Hollywood and gained fame for various reasons in modern times. Making movies seems glamorous, but actors have to hit marks and have to endure taking several retakes of the same scene several times. That can be unnerving for humans, but imagine your dog being expected to bark on cue over and over, in addition to jumping and running over and over. That's why Jack Russells are great in the movies. Their energy, positive attitude, and determination makes a Jack Russell a good actor. Chances are you've seen a Jack Russell or two in a movie or TV shows. Jack Russells have brought in over $700 million in movie sales. There are a few Jack Russell stars you may remember. Nipper. This is the dog who's listening to his dad's voice on the gramophone. He was the logo for several record companies like EMI, RCA, and Victor Talking Machine. He was a mixed breed Jack Russell, and he got his name because he nipped at the heels of visitors to his dad's house. Uggy acted in movies like Water for Elephants and The Artist. He was the biggest canine film star of his decade. He won a Palm Dog Award in Cannes for The Artist, and a campaign was placed for him to win an Oscar, but ultimately that failed. Moose and his brother Enzo played in movies such as My Dog Skip, but they were most famous for playing Eddie Crane on the TV show Frasier from 1993 to 2004. As a matter of fact, Eddie got more fan mail than the star Kelsey Grammer himself. Bothy wasn't a movie star, he was an explorer. He was the first and likely the last dog to place paws on both the North and South poles of the world. Dogs are no longer allowed in Antarctica because of fear they may pass a virus off to seals. This is George. He was a hero. He saved 5 children from 2 unsocialized vicious pit bulls at a carnival in New Zealand in April 2007. George was killed, but he held back the 2 pits until the kids got away. A statue was erected in his honor, and a Vietnam vet gave George's dad his Purple Heart because of George's bravery. I know a little bit about Jack Russells. This guy here is very close to my heart. This is Stitchy, and he exhibits a lot of things that Jack Russells do. So let's talk about some of the myths. Myths about Jack Russells. Jack Russells are bad dogs. Jack Russells are dominant and demanding. They don't like children. They don't get sunburned, and they should be weaned from their mothers at 4 weeks. So I'm not sure where this came from, but there's no such thing as a bad dog. There's only bad training and bad parents. Rather than dominant and demanding, Jack Russells are determined and can be stubborn. But as a rule, these dogs need ample exercise and training and time to adapt to their environment, and you shouldn't have any problems. Jack Russells are affectionate, loving dogs who love their kids too. But if they perceive being hurt by someone, they will snap back at whoever hurt them. So kids should be trained for all dogs not to pull on ears, not to poke eyes, and if you cannot get your kids to do that, they should not be around any dogs, let alone a Jack Russell. It is recommended that parents of Jack Russells put on sunblock because of their white coat, so Jack Russells actually can get sunburned. Finally, I'm not quite sure where this other one about weaning a Jack Russell puppy from their mothers at 4 weeks. All dogs should be with their mothers till at least 8 weeks old. This is Stitch playing with one of his closest friend Fritz, who recently passed away. Well, as you can see that these little dogs are wonderful, and I hope you learned something new about the Jack Russell Terrier. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.